This daf here Yerushalmi Orlah in the article Oz V'Hadar edition. We're on daf Ches Amrav at the Mishnah Halacha Gimel, which means we're also at the Mishnah in the Vilna edition Halacha Gimel, which is on Daled Amud Beis. Same Mishnah. Elon Shenekar. You have a tree which became uprooted. Vasela Imo, and the stone with it. So it's a tree which is an older tree. It's past the years of Orlah, and there's wind or a river uprooted it and swept it away with its roots and with the dirt which surrounds the roots, which became hard like a rock. And then wherever it landed, you added dirt and planted it again in the ground. If it could survive on the ground, the dirt which came with it, without adding additional dirt, so then it's putter. Its years of Orlah are still in effect, and it's putter from any further Orlah. If not, when it's replanting, it really could not survive without replanting, because not enough dirt came along the roots. It's chayev. It's has to start from scratch again. The nekar sela mitzi dough, didn't necessarily get uprooted. Somehow all the dirt surrounding the roots got uprooted. Zizasto machresha, or at the time you were plowing, the plow revealed the roots. Or you did it by hand, and you moved the dirt and revealed the roots. Vaso, and you made it. Here it says ki afar, but it's the Rash and the Rambam both changed it vaso bi'afar, and you redid it by adding dirt. Im yochel lichios, if it could have survived based on whatever was left after the ziazua, without the additional dirt, then it's part from Orlah. It's part of and if not, it's chayv. You have to start from scratch. Elon Shnekar V'Shtar Shoresh, a tree which got uprooted, but it's still in place, and one root remained connected to the ground, which was not uprooted, and then the tree rerooted in the ground. Elon Shnekar V'Shtar Shoresh, which carried over from the old planting, part is exempt. For Kami Shoresh, how thick does that remaining root have to be? Rabbi Gamliel Mishum Ben Yehuda Ish Bartusa said, "K'machat shel matun." The most of the first in Rambam, the Rosh changed it to machat shel mituach. This is a needle which weavers use when they want to spread a garment in order to expand it. So I guess it's a certain size of weaving needle. So the what people used to do with brecha, we mentioned of course many times this right. You plant, or you make a hole near the tree, and you take a branch from the tree, and you bury it in that. It's still connected to the tree. You bury it in that hole, and you take out you take out part of the tree, part of the branch. Then after it's buried in the hole, you raise it up over the ground again, like this. Down into the ground and up again, so then and then it becomes a new tree, and the other while part of it still remaining connected to the original tree. So even though it's deriving moisture from its new location as well, there's no din orlah. If the old tree gets uprooted from the ground and all of its nourishment comes from the new location, so that's a different halacha. So a tree which was rooted and had a brecha, there's still the brecha intact, but the old tree got uprooted, and the branch is still connected. And the old tree is now existing from the new tree. So now the count becomes the count of the from scratch. I said, in other words, brecha, not the count from the time you made the brecha. No. You count from now. Starts from zero. The resets to zero. If you after you took the first brecha, so then you did another brecha from it, and you did it several times, one after another. the time you start counting for Orlah from the time when the first Beicha is separate from the tree. It's a chain reaction. He's sipuk kakfani, sipuk gabi sipuk. So this is a similar idea by grapevines. You take a long branch from this grapevine, and you graft it onto another grapevine which is next to it. The first grapevine was successful. The second grapevine not successful or not as productive, and that's called sipuk. So it's part from Orlah as long as it's the graft is still connected to the first tree. And that which it seems from the Bavli, the Yerushalmi says in Rosh Hashanah Daf Tes Samad Beis, that if you graft your Chayav in Orlah, that's where you cut the branch from the original grapevine, and then you did the grafting. So sipuk sipuk abe sipuk, you you added on another and grafted again to a third tree. Even though later on you put one of those runners, which you ran off the first tree, into the ground, and it's possible that the runner is deriving its nourishment from the ground before it get properly seals as a graft. So you made graft, runner. Then even though the runner might take root before the graft takes hold, doesn't matter. It still all goes by the first tree. The Here the Bee says it depends. It says if the old tree and that connection still has a lot of moisture and they're all thriving there, nourishment from there, so it's mutter. There's no new Orlah. But if it's primary nourishment from the ground where it is now, which is fresh, so then also as Orlah starts, the Orlah clock restarts. If you have a brecha, this runner which actually stopped deriving nourishment from the older tree, and now it's Chayav in Orlah, but it has fruit on it already. So if you immediately harvested all the fruit, you're safe. You can eat them. But if they grew afterwards 1/200th of their growth, which is the standard measure by Chazroim, and that is which is because Orlah is but on 200. If it grew more than 1/200 of its growth, also it's forbidden. They have to those fruits are Orlah fruits. You can't derive hana from them. Okay, so that which is says that which in the mission that a tree which is uprooted with the clump of dirt around it. So the im yochel lichios potter v'im lav chayav. Kini mastis is a way to learn a Mishnah. Im yochel lichios potter, if it could have survived, it's potter. The im lav chayav, and if not, it's chayav. So the emphasis here is if it could have survived. In other words, it's obviously you have to assess it, and the question is what, because you added dirt to it, so you have to assess. Okay, what would it have been had I not added dirt? Okay, now the here it says Chizkiah Shal, the Rosh Hashanah and the Levi Yerushalmi both changed it to Amar Chizkiah. So it's not a question, statement. Amar Chizkiah. Chizkiah said Pachos Mikan. If the root is less than the shear of the weaver's needle, which you mentioned Mishnah, so then it's considered to be ketolushu. It's considered to be severed from the ground. So this is another nafkamina in halacha besides Orlah. Hishtach v'lo asaro. If you bow down to it, it becomes asur. So we know if you worship something with chubal karka, it doesn't become asur b'anoah. It says but if the tree is only connected by a root which is less than the size, the thickness of the weaver's needle, it's like it's severed from the ground. If you bow down, it becomes also b'anoah. Also, gite noshim, and it says we know you're not allowed to write a get on something which is chubal karka, getting Perek Beis Mishnah Dalet, but if the root is less than size, so then it's not chubal karka, right again in it. Armin, they said, however, Chazal Chizkiah, the Chizkiah reneged. Changed his mind. I don't know where who knows why did he change his mind? Where did he change his mind? What's going on? He reneged on account of the following statement. Rabbi Yoina Dam Rabbi Yochanan Mishem Rabbi Yanai Rabbi Yochanan named Rabbi Yanai became a sheyesh kemachal shel mitui. If it has the weaver's needle thickness, davar bari sheyesh lo sholosh shanim. That then it's clear that it has 3 years. So what's the proof from here? The proof is from the next part. Chizkiah Shal. Chizkiah asked about the statement of Rabbi Yochanan named Rabbi Yanai. Shlish machat shana. Well, let me first explain. It says that davar once it's that thickness, then that we know it's been 3 years. So it sounds like it's mechubel karka before that. Just this tells us it had 3 years of mechubel karka. So it sounds like even if it's thinner than machat shamitui, it's considered mechubel karka. It's just a question of how long it's mechubel karka, and that's what Chizki asks. Shlish machat shana, shnei shlishim shtei shonim. Is it a third every year? And once it's 3 years, it's definitely the shear, and it's the shear malimacha. You have to check, or we're not sure. It's possible that in the first year, in the last year, it gets 2/3, right? And you have to, and therefore you can't assume what every year is a third. So it says shlish machat shana, or and shnei shlishim shtei shanim, or not, right? Or is it some different? Is it a third, and then 2/3, and then 3/3, or is it some different shear? The Chavraya boy, Mach v'shlish davar b'rei sheishlo arba shanim. The Chavraya asked a variation on the theme. What about the fourth? We need. Can we tell from how it additionally gets thicker than the weaver's needle, and it grew a third more of that? Now it's past even the 4th year, and therefore there's no neta ravai or karen ravai, whatever. So therefore, is it continue that proportional growth even after 3 years over? In Tamer lo chazabo, if you're going to say he didn't renege, lo mashal kate, it must be that even if it's less than machat shel mituach, it's mechubel karka. So we don't know for how long it's been mechubel karka. That's the difference. So the Gemara now seems to repeat itself, and some people take out this next statement. Rabbi Yochanan said, "Mean milsa chazabah," and this he renegra chizka da Rabbi Yochanan Mishem Rabbi Yanai became a sheish machat mitu davar bar sheish shel shalosh shanim. We actually brought that down already previously. Okay, so the Rabbi Yossi is going to address this question of the proportional growth, but we're already pretty far down in Tesla, so we'll stop here for today.